Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going on a wild journey to the very edge of our solar system to uncover the epic rise, the dramatic fall, and the absolutely incredible resurrection of our most famous, and honestly probably our most misunderstood, dwarf planet, Pluto. We're going to look at how this tiny world completely changed our understanding of the universe, and why the story of Pluto, well, it is far from over. Okay, let's dive into this by looking at just how extreme this environment really is. Pluto is so incredibly far away from us that it takes sunlight over 5 hours just to reach it. And because of that massive distance, the temperature plunges to a mind-boggling minus 230 degrees Celsius. To put that into perspective for you, if you were to take a glass of liquid water and somehow step out onto Pluto's surface, it wouldn't just freeze, it would turn into a rock-hard block of ice in a single second. It is a completely alien, totally freezing world.
And the massive scale of this place, it doesn't stop at the temperature. Because it sits so far out on the literal fringes of our solar system, its orbit is absolutely massive. It takes Pluto 248 Earth years to complete just one single trip around the sun. I mean, think about that for a second. If you'd been born on Pluto, you wouldn't have even celebrated your first birthday yet. The sheer scale of time and space out there is truly staggering.
Section 1. Discovery of the Ninth. To really understand Pluto, we have to look at the fantastic triumph of human curiosity that actually found this tiny needle in the cosmic haystack.
Our journey today spans 3 defining moments: 1930, its triumphant discovery; 2006, its shocking demotion; and 2015, its incredible redemption with the New Horizons arrival.
So, the story kicks off in 1930 with a 23-year-old American astronomer named Clyde Tombaugh. He was working over at the Lowell Observatory in Arizona, and his job was literally to take photos of the night sky on different days and then use a machine to meticulously compare them, looking for any tiny speck of light that changed position against the background stars. And on February 18, 1930, all that hard work paid off. He found a moving point of light way out past Neptune. By March 13th, the world was introduced to our 9th planet. But what about the name? Well, an 11-year-old girl from England named Venetia Burney actually suggested the name Pluto, the Roman god of the underworld, and honestly, it was the perfect name for a planet sitting way out there in the dark, freezing depths of space.
Section 2. Why Pluto is demoted. For 76 years, Pluto proudly held on to its title. But in 2006, thousands of scientists gathered in Prague to fundamentally change Pluto's fate forever.
To understand why they demoted Pluto, we need to look at the rules they established. The International Astronomical Union, or IAU, created 3 strict conditions that an object absolutely must meet to be officially classified as a planet. Number 1, it must orbit the sun. Number 2, it must have enough mass that its own gravity pulls it into a round shape. And number 3, it must have cleared its orbital path, which basically means there are no other large objects sharing its neighborhood. Now, Earth easily passes all 3 tests, but Pluto, well, it passes the first 2 just fine, but it completely fails the third. Because it sits in a region of space called the Kuiper Belt, it actually shares its neighborhood with thousands of other icy objects. It hasn't cleared its path. So the scientific community made the really tough call to reclassify Pluto as a dwarf planet. And even today, many scientists and space enthusiasts are still passionately debating this controversial decision. And this brilliantly illustrates why scientists were questioning its status in the first place. When you compare Pluto to our own moon, Pluto is actually smaller. Our moon has a diameter of 3,475 kilometers, while Pluto is only 2,374 kilometers across. To give you a real sense of scale here, if there were a highway wrapping around Pluto, you could drive across the entire world in just a single day.
Section 3. New Horizons' Shocking Secrets. For a long time, people just thought of Pluto as a tiny dead rock floating in the dark. But in 2015, that perception was shattered forever.
The New Horizons mission was an absolute marvel of extreme engineering. Launched in January 2006, back when Pluto was actually still considered a planet, by the way, the spacecraft was blasted into space at an astonishing 58,000 kilometers per hour. I mean, that is literally faster than a speeding bullet. Yet, even traveling at that breakneck speed, it took 9.5 years to finally reach its destination. In July 2015, it performed a flyby, passing just 12,500 kilometers away from Pluto's surface, frantically collecting data and snapping photos the whole way. When those high-resolution photos finally beamed back to Earth, the entire world gasped. Staring right back at us was a giant heart.
Officially named Tombaugh Regio after the young man who discovered the planet, this stunning heart-shaped plain is actually made entirely of nitrogen ice, and it is massive. We're talking roughly the size of 2 entire states of Texas combined.
But the heart was really just the beginning. Let's rapid fire through some of these mind-blowing features. We found mountains made of solid water ice, towering 3 kilometers high, and nestled between them, actual flowing glaciers of nitrogen ice. Then there are its 5 moons, including the giant Charon, which is so huge that some scientists actually consider them a double-planet system. And of course, we can't forget its wildly tilted orbit that occasionally brings it closer to the Sun than Neptune.
Also, despite its tiny size, Pluto actually has an atmosphere made of nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide. But it's not a static atmosphere. It's almost as if the planet is breathing. You see, when Pluto's bizarre orbit brings it closer to the Sun, the surface ice warms up just enough to turn into a gas, expanding the atmosphere. Then, as it travels further away into the deep freeze, those gases freeze and literally fall back down to the surface as snow.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the color. Notice the vibrant shades of red and brown. For decades, we all assumed Pluto was just a boring white or gray ball of ice. But the high-resolution images showed us that Pluto is actually painted in vibrant shades of rust. This is caused by something called tholins. Basically, when ultraviolet rays from the Sun hit the methane and Pluto's atmosphere, it creates these organic compounds, which then snow down onto the surface, giving Pluto its distinctive reddish-brown color.
Section 4. Is there life on Pluto? With all this dynamic activity, the flowing glaciers, the organic compounds, we have to ask a question that really pushes the boundaries of what we ever thought was possible in our solar system.
Could microbial life exist in a hidden subsurface ocean? Now, before we get carried away, life on the surface as we know it, absolutely impossible. It's minus 230 degrees, the atmosphere is impossibly thin, and there is 0 liquid water on the surface. But what lies beneath the ice tells a very different, deeply provocative story. Scientists theorize that Pluto actually has a rocky core containing radioactive elements. As these elements slowly decay, they generate heat, and this heat could be melting the ice from the inside out, creating a massive, hidden, liquid ocean right beneath Pluto's frozen crust. And if there's liquid water and chemical energy, well, could there be life? I mean, we see this on Earth right now, in deep-sea vents at the bottom of pitch-black oceans, where bacteria thrive entirely on chemical energy, completely isolated from sunlight. If those exact conditions exist inside Pluto, microbial life isn't just science fiction. It's a legitimate scientific possibility.
So, what should you really take away from all this? It's that Pluto is so much more than a demoted space rock. It's a powerful testament to the fact that science is a constantly evolving process. What was true yesterday might not be true today, and what we know for sure today might change entirely tomorrow. Pluto also teaches us that age and experience are no barrier to discovery. Remember, it was a 23-year-old who found it, and an 11-year-old who named it.
Pluto was once the very edge of our understanding, just a tiny pixel of light. But now, we know it's a complex, breathing world with a giant heart and quite possibly a hidden ocean. If a tiny dwarf planet at the edge of our solar system holds this much mystery and beauty, it really begs the question, how much more of the universe is just sitting out there in the dark, waiting for us to discover it?